All right, what's up, guys? Hope you guys are having a great day. I'm back here with the Kansas City Chiefs CFM episode number. I held up the number 3, but it's actually episode number 2. We're gonna be playing here, man, against an in-division rival, the the Los Angeles Chargers, man. This guy's actually really solid. I think he's a comp player. He actually beat Dubby in the Philadelphia Eagles Club Championship online elimination bracket. So this guy's actually pretty solid. I think the Chargers are low-key one of the best teams in the game as well. Like, they're super well-rounded. Justin Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry on offense, Joey Bosa, Derwin James on defense. They got some players out there, man. We're going to have our hands full for sure. The dude's already got abilities on Justin Herbert. So this is going to be an interesting game, man. I think there's like 80 or 90 combined points. It's absolutely crazy. Comes down to the absolute wire, as always, as pretty much every game we play on this channel does. It always comes down to the wire, man. It seems like every game is super entertaining, and whether that's because all my opponents are very good or because I just play down to my competition and make it super interesting, it probably varies. Sometimes I play really good people, sometimes I play down to my competition, but either way, it always makes it super interesting, super fun to watch. I love making this series. I know you guys love watching this as well. The support has been awesome as always, so please do me a favor, leave a like on this video if you guys want an episode 3. Comment down below as well, letting me know if you guys want to see any players I should trade for, some sleeper picks, some goons that you guys might want to see me trade for. Helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already, man. I do always appreciate the support, man. It's been great. I can't thank you guys enough. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the highlights, and I hope you guys enjoy the video, man. All right, here we go, guys. We're taking on our division rival, the Los Angeles Chargers. This is actually one of the better teams I think that you can possibly pick in the CFM. They have a lot of young talent. They have Derwin James, they have Keenan Allen, Eckler, they have Herbert, obviously. As the game is going to disconnect, the game actually did disconnect right there. We had to recreate the scenario. My opponent's going to get the ball here, and yeah, on the first play, he throws what probably should have been a pick 6. Unfortunately, my DB does not react, but as I was saying, man, Chargers one of the best teams in the game. They made it so that if you paid a couple extra dollars as well, you can actually give your quarterback abilities. So even though Herbert doesn't get abilities, because my opponent paid that extra fee, he's going to allow them to get abilities. I don't really know how I feel about that feature. I obviously had a quarterback that already has X Factor, so I didn't do that. It makes it interesting for sure, but it makes some teams like the Chargers just that much better. And yeah, Herbert's a goon, obviously super young. He's going to level up pretty quickly, but we got a guy by the name of Frank Clark right there, man. And my opponent's going to miss the kick. That's probably a bit of a karma for me missing that pick earlier in the drive, but a good stop nonetheless. We're in that trip side end formation, and we have a man by the name of Sammy Watkins streaking up the middle of the field. Sammy Watkins, not the greatest player in CFM. He's got all right speed. He's got all right route running, and he's kind of old, but he's got star dev, so not a bad player to have. He gets open. Definitely can move him, though, if someone gave me a good offer. Still looking to make a lot of trades, man. I think that's the most exciting aspect of playing CFM is just making trades. I am a trade addict. I'm looking to trade all day as we hit Kelsey right here on the crosser for the touchdown. But I asked you guys, you guys know I traded Hardman. I asked you guys if I should trade Reek. Now, Reek is probably the best player in CFM. You can't run man coverage on him. He gets open against everyone. He just takes the top off zones. He's unbelievable. And for that reason, man, especially when I'm in a league with a bunch of other pro players, like everyone wants Reek. They're willing to give up pretty much anything for it. Right here, I came out 146 against I for him. And when you do that, your safeties basically just run half speed. And as you can see there, I just had no chance. He's swagging on me. That was a bit painful. I'm not going to lie. This guy is loving the audible down at a bunch to I for him right now. And I'm in 146, so I probably deserve it. But as we go right here, man, that's me force feeding to Reek. I actually did have the post open for a touchdown. He wasn't covered too, but as you can see there, because the route took so long to develop, I actually got hit as I threw. The ball fell right to him for an interception. So that was a tough one, man. Probably should have been a touchdown, but he got good pressure from his D-line. He does have Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, so he's got some goons on his D-line. Another big positive to the Chargers, and that's kind of the downside of having Reek right there in that scenario, man, is sometimes Reek, he's so good that you just want to get Reek the ball literally no matter what. And right there, I probably could have taken a check down. Even though it was a touchdown, I waited too long. I wanted to one play touchdown him with Reek, and because of that, ended up with I ended up with an interception. And that's kind of the downside of having Reek. Obviously, the upside definitely outweighs the downside, but I'm still looking to move him. I think a lot of people have given me really good offers. I've been shopping those trades nonstop. And again, a seam up the middle to Reek against cover 2 should have been a touchdown. Kind of a bad pass lead. I waited a little bit too long, but that just goes back to that, man. Me trying to force feed Reek. I think I can go ahead and move him and still move the ball in offense. As I say that, I go ahead and throw a huge crosser to Reek down the sideline, but some of these offers are great, man. Someone actually offered me Montez Sweat, Byron Jones, Devontae Parker, and Cooper Kupp. Devontae Parker and Cooper Kupp both have superstars. So I get 2 superstar wide receivers who are pretty slow, but I get Montez Sweat, who's one of the best defensive linemen in the game. He doesn't have abilities, but he's super young, speed demon. Byron Jones as well, who is incredibly good as well, and I don't know how I can really turn that down. Obviously, I'd have to throw some pieces in there. I told him I would give him Frank Clark and Sammy Watkins as well. 2 good players, but 2 players that really aren't that young anymore. They're not really going to progress that fast, as we are probably playing more than one season, so I wouldn't mind losing those guys that much. I think that's a really good trade as we force a fumble with Honey Badger right there. I don't know what that animation was. He was kind of celebrating after forcing the fumble. Wasn't able to recover it. Really needed that after being a down point without ball before half. He gets ball at half here too as well. He audibles down to I form on 3rd and 18. Not really sure about this play call from my opponent. He'd obviously hit me with a couple big runs prior to this, but right there, terrible decision from him. He only needed a very short completion to get into field goal range, and then on 4th and 16, he's going to go for it with Herbert out of the bunch. I lurk it, but I hesitate a little bit. Just for a tad second, my user. That's sometimes that's all it takes, man. And my opponent's going to come up with a really nice dot there for a huge conversion. Bad user for my part. I don't really know why I hesitated. I wanted to see if we could potentially bait him into throwing it, and he threw it and completed it. So yeah, pretty bad user for me there. I should have just stuck with it the whole time. I was also nervous because the route was so deep. He smart routed it. I didn't know if it was going to go left or right, so that was a part of it as well. But really nice dot from my opponent there to score a touchdown, get an 8-point lead here before half. And we have, we have no timeouts, but, 17 seconds is a lot here. I probably could have scored, man. I probably could have scored, but the one thing about CFM, which I really don't like, I love CFM. I love almost every aspect about it. The one thing I don't like about it, man, is I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it seems like the servers are super laggy. Like the servers just seem super laggy in pretty much every CFM game. This game felt pretty laggy as well, and right there I just lost all control of Travis Kelce. By the time I put my input in to swerve him back inside to potentially run for a touchdown, it was too late. He already carried himself out of bounds. The input delay was kind of bad. That was just the biggest excuse. I completely made that up. I have no stick and I ran out of, no, it's a little bit of combination of both right there, man. There's definitely some CFM lag as we force a really nice sack here once again, man. So we're down 8. My opponent does get ball at half here, so we're not in a great spot. Even if we do get a stop and score, we still have to get a 2-point conversion to tie the game. But the CFM games are super long, 6-minute quarters, so we really have all the time in the world, and my opponent is going to continuously run the ball again. 3rd and long, another run call. This guy, I think, was a bit too hooked on the fact that he had success with runs previously, and, it would work against this defense, but we have a guy by the name of CJ Henderson, man. Y'all were telling me I was tripping for trading McCole Hardman. We picked up CJ Henderson in return, and look who makes a play. He's not even close to being what he's going to be at the end of the season as well. He's going to get those abilities at 500 snaps. He's going to get those zone coverage and man coverage thresholds as well as we progress later in the year, and I'm super excited to see how well he plays because he is like a Jalen Ramsey clone, but faster. Honestly, an amazing card. As my opponent throws an amazing dot right there, man. I don't know who that is. Kendrick Bourne, I think, at tight end. Not really sure. That dude is absolutely dotting me up, though, at the tight end position. I think he's obviously running bunch. I don't know if he's in Carolina or Seattle, 2 of the most popular bunch playbooks in the game. Right now, I can't really seem to stop it, though. I'm running nickel 2-4-5. Not really having a ton of success. We forced that fumble. I think we got a pick once. We forced a couple sacks, but this is my first time running this defense. I wanted to give it a shot. It looked like a decent formation. Unfortunately, just not really. I just don't think it's for me. I think big nickel over G, 3-3-5 wide. What are some other good formations? Mid blitz, 2-4-5 double A gap is one of the best formations in the game as well. That's quickly becoming meta, and I hate playing against mid blitz. It is an absolute pain. I'm sure you guys, if you guys play online, you guys have played that quite a bit recently. But right here, man, my opponent has an opportunity to take the lead. He's flipping this bunch formation a ton. I'm not really sure why I didn't edit this part because I never finished editing it. That makes a lot of sense. So as you guys can see right there, I messed up on the editing, man. No one talk about it. No one mentioned it in the comments below. We'll just pretend like it never happened. I'm back here on the next day wearing a different outfit. We got the editing done. I'm ready to finish commentary on this as my opponent runs once again on 3rd and 17. Not really sure about that play call. Even if he got sacked, he probably would have been in field goal range. But he's basically just going to settle for 3 right there. And I'm not sure about that decision, man, when we got a man by the name of Patty Mahomes under the helm, throwing a dot right there to Byron Pringle. We're getting everyone involved after moving Hardman on. Pringle stepping up into that second or third wide receiver role, and he's making some plays. He's played decent this game, getting some touches, not as much as Reek or Kelsey by any means, but certainly when we've relied on him or when we've needed to, he's made plays. Right here, Reek on the post route over the middle of the field, just no chance of guarding him in zone or man. This dude is an absolute legend, but I'm still thinking about trading him, man. It's so tempting. Defense is so hard to play in CFM unless you just have all the goons in the world. And honestly, I want to get the Avengers in my secondary, man. I want the Avengers. I got Sneed, who's 94 speed, CJ Henderson, who's going to be superstar after 500 saps. Those guys are going to be absolute gods. I got Deion Jones, Thornhill back there. Dude, my secondary is absolutely insane, especially with the Honey Badger. And I think by the end of the season, man, like I think I've said this before, but they're not the greatest now by any means. They don't really meet those those 90 zone or 90 man coverage thresholds just yet, but I think by playoff time these dudes are going to be absolutely insane, and no one's going to be able to move on my secondary at all. I can just come out in mid blitz, or I can come out in 3-3-5 wide, run that man-to-man, send some pressure at him, play cover zero, and just rely on my guys to make plays and just absolutely bag everyone I play. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think by trading Reek we can basically assemble the Avengers on defense, and I think it would be a scary sight to see, because pretty much every time I've ever played CFM, I've drafted so offensive heavy. I've drafted all of these super fast these super fast receivers, and obviously this league that had no draft, it was basically just pay by how good the team was. But I still kind of want to assemble a really good defense, just the ultimate defense. I've never done it before. I think it would be a really fun experiment, especially with the Chiefs basically just flipping the whole role of that Kansas City Chiefs, going from a super explosive offense to just an absolutely lockdown defense. I think it would be a really nice project to watch here as we progress through it on the YouTube channel. So I think I'm gonna go for it, man. A lot of people told me not to trade Reek, but I think with the offer that I got with getting Cooper Kupp and Devontae Parker, who are both superstar wide receivers, who aren't the fastest, but they're still going to get route technician ability, so they're going to create separation on routes, and then getting Montez Sweat as well. Like it's hard for me to pass that up. I'll still have good options on offense, especially with the fact that I'm keeping Kelsey. But right here, man, my opponent is on a money drive, man. We got to get back to the game. Justin Herbert read option right there up to the 41-yard line, and then right here, man, he's got the crosser for probably what would have been a touchdown. Thankfully for me, he checks down to Eckler, and honestly, maybe thankfully for him as well, because we've proved that we can score very, very quickly. But right here, Jamal Dean, another one of my young goons, coming up with a huge interception. He absolutely bagged that route. Not really sure what my opponent saw right there. He had made some pretty decent reads all game. Made a bad one right there. We need the ball back here, and on the first play, I think my opponent's expecting a run perhaps. We hit Tyreek Hill. We stun on him doing the shush celebration, and he's still able to do a 180, accelerate past the two defenders, and score a touchdown. So definitely getting a little cocky with it there, man. But when you have Tyreek Hill, I feel like you have to, man. Why not? He's got the wheels. You can showboat with him. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck moving on from him, but I think it needs to be done. Like I said, I want to assemble the best possible defense that I can, see how that works. Kind of just labbing it in CFM, seeing what's better, the super explosive, high-powered offense, or going for the just absolute shutdown defense. So we're gonna figure that out. I hope you guys come along with me in this journey. I know a lot of you guys are loving this series right now. I'm loving making it, man. I love progressing my young players. I'm trying to trade for all the young players that I can possibly get them the most abilities, get them the highest ratings possible. It's just a lot of fun. As my opponent actually has life here, 19 seconds, onside kick, and guess who, man? My superstar Tyreek Hill. It actually hits him in the body. Fortunately for me, though, it just defies physics, goes absolutely through his body, teleports right through him. And then speaking of teleporting right through him, the ball just goes right through Tyreek Hill's hands for a wide open touchdown. I think Reek wants to be traded after this. Basically missing the onside kick and then missing a wide open touchdown, but redeeming himself right here with a nice little crosser out of bounds. I'm basically just trying to run up the score at this point, trying to get as much XP as possible. And then right here, double me activated on Tyreek Hill. Let's go up top, right through the DB's hands, and Reek ags him for a touchdown. So Reek definitely had himself a game. We had like 450 yards passing, 5 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes went absolutely crazy. 8 touchdowns for Reek through only 2 games, but I probably just seem like an idiot that I'm trying to convince myself that I'm going to trade him. But we'll see next video if we actually end up going through with it. Thornhill right there, nice little upgrade. CJ Henderson, our superstar on defense, coming up with a really nice upgrade as well. I'm hoping to get this guy to like 85 overall by the end of the year. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video, man. Thank you guys for the support. As always, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys probably either tomorrow or the next day with another CFM episode. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I'll see you guys next time, man. Peace.